Fear is one of the oldest emotions in the human mind. Long before people built cities, invented technology, or created governments, fear helped them stay alive. It warned them about danger. It made them run from wild animals, hide from storms, and protect their families. Without fear, human beings might not have survived. But psychology also teaches us that the same emotion that protects us can also be used to control us. When fear becomes stronger than reason, people stop thinking clearly. They become easier to influence, easier to persuade, and sometimes easier to manipulate. Many psychologists explain that the human brain has different systems that work together. One popular idea is the triune brain model, which includes the reptilian brain, the emotional brain, and the thinking brain. Modern neuroscience shows that the brain is much more complex than this simple model, but the idea is still useful for understanding certain behaviors. The reptilian brain is often used as a symbol for the most basic survival instincts. It is connected with actions like fighting, running away, freezing, protecting territory, and searching for safety. When people talk about the reptilian brain, they are usually describing the part of our behavior that reacts quickly to danger before careful thinking begins. Imagine walking through a forest. Suddenly you hear a loud noise behind you. Before you even know what caused the sound, your heart starts beating faster. Your muscles become tense. Your breathing changes. You turn around quickly. This reaction happens almost automatically. Your brain is trying to protect you before you have time to think. This quick response helped our ancestors survive. In the modern world, however, not every loud noise is dangerous. Sometimes it is only the wind, a falling branch, or another harmless event. But your body reacts first and asks questions later. Psychology explains that fear changes the way people think. When people feel safe, they usually compare information, ask questions, and think carefully before making decisions. When they feel afraid, their attention becomes narrow. They focus only on the possible danger. They may ignore other facts because their brain believes survival is more important than careful reasoning. This is why fear can be such a powerful tool for manipulation. Manipulation does not always involve lying. Sometimes it simply means encouraging people to focus on one fear while ignoring everything else. If someone constantly reminds people about danger, they may become less interested in checking whether the danger is real, exaggerated, or even likely to happen. Their attention stays locked on survival instead of understanding the complete picture. Fear works because uncertainty is uncomfortable. The human mind likes clear answers. When people face uncertainty, they often search for someone who sounds confident. Even if that person has little evidence, confidence itself can feel comforting. Psychology shows that people under stress often accept simple explanations because complex thinking requires mental energy. Fear reduces that mental energy. The reptilian brain reacts especially strongly to anything that seems to threaten survival. These threats do not always involve physical danger. People can also fear losing their job, their money, their relationships, their reputation, or their social group. The brain often reacts to these social threats in ways that are surprisingly similar to physical threats. This is why words alone can create powerful emotional reactions. One important psychological principle is called the fight, flight, or freeze response. When fear appears, the body prepares to fight the danger, escape from it, or remain completely still. During this process, stress hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol increase. The heart pumps faster. Blood moves toward the muscles. Digestion slows down because the body believes survival is the only priority. These changes are helpful during real emergencies. However, if people remain afraid for long periods, these stress reactions can become harmful. People who live in constant fear often become tired, anxious, and emotionally exhausted. They may struggle to concentrate or make careful decisions. Chronic fear reduces patience and increases emotional reactions. It becomes easier for others to influence them because they are mentally overwhelmed. Psychologists also study something called cognitive biases. These are shortcuts the brain uses to make decisions quickly. During fear, these shortcuts become even stronger. One example is confirmation bias. When people are afraid, they often notice information that supports their fear while ignoring information that reduces it. If someone believes the world is becoming extremely dangerous, they may pay attention only to stories that confirm this belief. Another bias is called negativity bias. The human brain naturally remembers negative events more strongly than positive ones. One frightening experience may stay in memory for years, while many peaceful days are forgotten. This helped ancient humans remember dangerous places and avoid them in the future. Today, it means frightening news often captures more attention than positive news. Availability bias also plays an important role. People estimate how likely something is based on how easily examples come to mind. If dramatic stories are repeated again and again, people may believe those events happen constantly, even if they are actually rare. The mind mistakes repeated exposure for evidence. Fear also increases group behavior. Throughout history, humans survive by belonging to groups. Being rejected by the group could mean death. Because of this, people often follow the opinions of those around them during uncertain times. If everyone appears afraid, each individual becomes even more afraid. Psychologists call this social proof. People assume that if many others believe something, it must be true. Manipulation often becomes easier when fear spreads through groups instead of individuals. Fear is contagious. One frightened person influences another. Soon entire communities may react emotionally without carefully examining the evidence. Social media can increase this effect because emotional messages travel faster than calm explanations. People often share content that shocks them before checking whether it is accurate. Another psychological factor is repetition. When people hear the same message repeatedly, it begins to feel familiar. Familiar ideas often seem more believable, even when evidence is weak. This is known as the illusory truth effect. Fearful messages repeated again and again become deeply planted in memory. Images also affect fear. The brain processes emotional pictures faster than detailed written information. A single frightening image can create a strong emotional reaction within seconds. This reaction often happens before logical thinking begins. Once emotions become active, people may interpret later information through that emotional filter. The human imagination also strengthens fear. Sometimes people fear events that have never happened simply because they can imagine them. The brain responds not only to real danger but also to imagined danger. Thinking repeatedly about worst-case scenarios keeps the body in a state of stress even when no immediate threat exists. Psychologists explain that uncertainty often creates more fear than known danger. Waiting for medical test results can feel worse than receiving the diagnosis. Not knowing whether a problem exists allows the imagination to create endless possibilities. Manipulators sometimes take advantage of uncertainty by keeping people worried without providing clear answers. Another interesting concept is learned fear. Human beings are not born fearing everything. Many fears develop through experience or observation. A child who sees adults reacting with panic may learn to fear the same situation. Fear can spread without direct personal experience. Watching others become frightened teaches the brain what to avoid. Classical conditioning also explains fear. If a neutral event repeatedly appears alongside something frightening, people begin fearing the neutral event itself. This learning process happens automatically. Once the association forms, breaking it may take a long time. Authority has a strong influence during fear. Research in psychology shows that people often trust individuals they see as experts, leaders, or authority figures. During calm times, people may question authority more often. During fearful situations, many become more willing to follow instructions because they hope someone else knows the correct answer. This does not mean authority is bad. Good leaders can help reduce panic by providing accurate information and calm guidance. The problem appears when authority encourages unnecessary fear instead of reducing it. Fear can make people accept decisions they might normally question. Another psychological concept is emotional reasoning. People sometimes believe that because they feel afraid, danger must be present. But emotions are not always accurate indicators of reality. Feeling anxious does not automatically mean something terrible will happen. The emotion is real, but the conclusion may not be. Catastrophic thinking makes fear even stronger. Instead of expecting a manageable problem, the mind jumps directly to the worst possible outcome. Small uncertainties become imagined disasters. This thinking pattern increases stress and reduces logical problem solving. The brain also prefers immediate safety over long-term thinking. The reptilian survival system focuses on surviving today, not planning for 10 years from now. When fear becomes intense, people may make choices that provide short-term relief while creating long-term problems. Psychology calls this present bias. Scarcity also increases fear. When people believe something important is running out, they become more emotional. Whether the scarce resource is food, money, opportunities, or time, scarcity creates urgency. Urgency reduces careful thinking because the brain believes immediate action is necessary. Fear often narrows attention so much that people stop noticing alternatives. They may believe there are only two choices when many options actually exist. Manipulation sometimes creates false dilemmas, making people think they must choose between two extreme outcomes. Calm thinking often reveals additional possibilities. Stress also affects memory. Under intense fear, people may remember emotional details while forgetting important facts. Witnesses to frightening events sometimes recall feelings more clearly than specific information. This is one reason rumors spread easily during crises. The emotional brain communicates constantly with the thinking brain. They are not enemies. Both are necessary. Emotions provide motivation, while reasoning provides direction. Problems arise only when emotions completely overpower careful thinking. Healthy decision-making requires cooperation between both systems. Psychologists encourage emotional awareness rather than emotional suppression. Trying to eliminate fear completely is impossible and unnecessary. Fear has an important protective purpose. Instead, people benefit from recognizing fear without allowing it to control every decision. Mindfulness is one technique that helps reduce automatic fear responses. By paying attention to breathing, body sensations, and present experiences, people create space between emotion and reaction. This small pause allows the thinking brain to participate before decisions are made. Critical thinking is another powerful defense against manipulation. Instead of immediately accepting frightening claims, people can ask simple questions. What is the evidence? Is the information coming from reliable sources? Are important details missing? Is a message trying to inform me or simply make me afraid? Healthy skepticism differs from constant distrust. Skepticism means checking evidence before reaching conclusions. Distrust rejects everything automatically. Psychology encourages balanced thinking rather than extreme reactions. Learning about cognitive biases also improves decision-making. Once people understand that the brain naturally exaggerates certain dangers, they become better at recognizing emotional manipulation. Awareness does not eliminate biases completely, but it reduces their influence. Emotional regulation is another important skill. People who can calm themselves after becoming frightened usually make better decisions than those who remain overwhelmed. Deep breathing, exercise, adequate sleep, supportive relationships, and healthy routines all improve emotional regulation. Media literacy also plays an important role. Modern technology allows information to spread instantly across the world. Unfortunately, emotional content often spreads faster than accurate content. Taking time to verify information before sharing it helps reduce unnecessary fear in communities. Children are especially influenced by adult emotions. When parents remain calm during stressful situations, children often feel safer. If adults panic constantly, children may learn to see the world as permanently dangerous. Emotional stability spreads just as fear does. Hope is the psychological opposite of helplessness. Hope does not ignore danger. Instead, it recognizes that problems can be solved. Hope encourages action instead of panic. Research consistently shows that hopeful people cope better with stress because they believe their actions matter. Confidence also reduces manipulation. Confident individuals are not fearless. They simply trust their ability to face challenges. This confidence makes them less dependent on dramatic emotional messages for guidance. Strong communities provide protection against fear-based manipulation. People who have supportive friends, family members, and neighbors often discuss concerns openly instead of reacting alone. Group discussion encourages critical thinking and reduces panic. Education strengthens psychological resilience. The more people understand how emotions influence thinking, the more difficult it becomes to manipulate them. Knowledge creates mental flexibility, allowing individuals to pause before reacting. It is important to remember that not all fear is manipulation. Real dangers exist. Natural disasters, accidents, diseases, and violence require appropriate caution. Psychology does not teach people to ignore fear. Instead, it teaches people to match their level of fear to the actual level of danger. Healthy fear leads to preparation. Unhealthy fear leads to panic. Preparation improves safety while preserving clear thinking. Panic often reduces safety because it causes rush decisions. The reptilian brain is not an enemy. It has protected humans for millions of years. Every time you move away from a speeding vehicle or react quickly to real danger, your survival systems are helping you. Problems appear only when these systems remain activated long after the danger has passed, or when someone deliberately keeps them activated through repeated emotional triggers. Psychology reminds us that emotions and reason are partners. Fear alerts us of possible danger, but reason helps us decide whether the danger is real, how serious it is, and what action should be taken. A balanced mind listens to fear without becoming controlled by it. When people understand how fear works, they become more resilient. They recognize emotional triggers, question dramatic claims, verify information, and make thoughtful decisions. Instead of reacting automatically, they respond intentionally. This ability protects both individuals and communities from unnecessary panic. In the end, fear itself is neither good nor bad. It is a natural part of being human. It has saved countless lives throughout history. But because it is so powerful, it can also be misused. Psychology teaches that the greatest protection is not the absence of fear, but the presence of awareness, emotional control, critical thinking, and compassion. When people understand their own minds, they become much harder to manipulate. They learn to respect fear without becoming its prisoner, allowing wisdom, evidence, and thoughtful judgment to guide their choices instead of panic alone.